Hi, this is Krista at the Secret Yarnery. Welcome to Crochet Podcast, episode 161. Before we start, I just want to give a big hug and condolences to everybody in Jasper and Jasper National Park. I went to elementary school there. I moved 40 years ago, imagine that. But such great memories there. Probably my house is gone. We were on the west side of town, like it was called like the outskirts, but literally, like I walked to school in about 4 minutes. Now I'm sure it would probably be something like downtown. Anyway, so sad. Complete forest fire. If you don't know, there was 2 forest fires. I think it's one from the west and one from the south and one from the west. I could have my directions mixed up. Anyway, they both converged and just went through the whole town. Gas station or petrol station blew up like a big deal. Like, it's just empty. I saw some footage. My stepmom sent me some footage, and it's like sidewalks and some sticks that used to be trees. It's all not there anymore. So that was this morning. I just found out about it. And it just brings back all those memories, you know what I mean? Of like, oh, I did that there, and oh, we did that here, and all that good childhood stuff is El Gano. I moved in 83. I moved to White Rock in 83. So that's in British Columbia, if you don't know. So I haven't been there obviously in like 40 years. I drove through about 30 years ago on my way to Saskatchewan, but I haven't been there in decades for sure. But I'm sure everything's changed and I wouldn't recognize a thing, but it's just really devastating. I always had a thought like, oh, I'm going to take my kids to go see like, my second house. Or I was in my third house, really, I forgot. My dad built a house we moved into when I was 6, and then when I was 8, we moved to Jasper. Anyway, boo-hoo on that. So just big hugs to everybody in Jasper that has been displaced and all of that. Now, moving on to finished objects. Let's get some crochet happiness up on in here. Boom! Isn't that great? That is, wait for it. Now, we did some naming things, I think, during the live chat last week of like, what would you call it? A couple great names popped up. Guess what we're going for? Diamond Acorn. Diamond Acorn. Now, let me show you why. You're going to love it. Let me just tell you straight up, you're going to love it. So, these are acorns. The yarn is acorn, and the holes in between are diamonds. So it is Diamond Acorn. They're kind of like windows, but I'm like, would you rather have a window or a diamond? I'm taking, a diamond. So that is the Diamond Acorn Bed Runner tutorial. It will be coming out next week. It's filmed. It's just the editing is a bit extensive because I take you through the border and everything like that. It does straighten out. Now, if you use a natural fiber, obviously you get that drape. But this is fresh off my hook, so it's still a little bit wrinkly. But those are little acorns along the border and acorns along in the center. And every row starts the same, every row ends the same. So you start and finish the same way. It's not like, what row am I on and what do I do? No, you do the same thing every row. It's perfect. And then in every third row, we do a little something to turn them into acorns. So it's amazing. 2 rows, amazing border. You're going to love it, but it's going to be next week. Plus, I have to write the pattern. I need the video to write the pattern and like, oh, good lordy. Because I want the video, like, in the past, I've written the pattern and I've done the video kind of like, not separately, but I think I know what I'm doing. And I write the pattern, and then you watch the video and you buy the pattern, and you're like, the pattern says this and the video says that. And you're like, oh yeah, well you could do both ways, but blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? Not the best. So, video done. Then I quick write the pattern. Well, not that quick. Then I write the pattern, so it'll be out for next weekend. Diamond, acorn, acorn, acorn. So cute, right? I love it. Amazing. So that lives on my bed. So springtime and fresh. I love it. Also because of the diamond acorn kind of design to it, you can stretch it skinny and long, or you can stretch it more narrow and wider, depending on what look you want on your bed or what bed you're putting it on. So, super excited about that. It is coming out next week, and I used 2 packs of magic worsted from Ice Yarn, so 800 grams of yarn, or 8 normal balls of yarn, and just regular acrylic. I love it. It also works fantastic in a natural fiber. It probably works better in a natural fiber because it gives that natural drape, but use whatever you have on hand. So good. So that is my finished object, and now on to whips, works in progress. I have a few. So let's start, I think, where I left you off chronologically. So we're almost tired of talking about it, right? The ambient shawl, got that. Redoing it for a tutorial in this yarn here, which is the same yarn as my bed runner. Excuse me. This is 3 balls of magic worsted done into stripe, like into a I was gonna say into stripes, obviously it's striped, into a C2C triangle for the shawl, the base of the shawl. So this was ready. I had it set aside to start, because I was going to do like a small one, to start doing the border for that border. So good, right? Maybe I can show you where it's a little brighter colors. That border on it. I love it. But also started another, hold on. Also started another whip, which is these C2C squares. So I'm using the same yarn. Oh, I took a photo, thank goodness. I used the same yarn as the bed runner, but to do little C2C squares, like so. And then I wanted to put them together. Hold on, I can show you. Kind of like in a diamond kind of pattern, or in an X maybe. How am I doing it? You know, somehow arrange them so that they looked interesting. Maybe like that. Cute, right? So I have 2 packs of this as well, 800 grams. I can make two and almost a half out of 1 ball. So that means I could pretty much, because I also want to join in the same yarn, so that means pretty much I can only make 2 per 100 grams, so 16 of these. 16 of these, it's hard to make a rectangle shape. I could do like 4x4, do you know what I mean? And then it's like, what are you going to do with a square 4x4 blanket? I mean, it'd still be really cute. But I was like, and I'm not buying more yarn. I'm trying not to buy more yarn. I don't need more yarn. I mean, clearly I have a lot of yarn. I'm trying to use what I have and kind of finish up a bunch of variegated, like a bunch of yarn that, like this is my main yarn. I like to keep that, like all the colors I could use to mix and match. But like the top row, let me push you up a bit. All that extra yarn up there. I'm like, all of this kind of stuff, I feel like we could kind of use it up. I feel like I have a lot. I feel like I don't need it all. I feel like if you find the right project for it, go ahead and do it. Grab the yarn, make the project. Which is from my girlfriend. Let me get you back over. My girlfriend who has a bunch of yarn and she's destashing it or whipping it up. She doesn't want to have yarn. She doesn't have a purpose. So we bunched up all of her yarn into projects that she can do. Thank goodness we wrote down like hook size, project name, and like any information, like start with this color, end with that color. Because we're even mixing and matching, like literally to not get rid of her yarn, but use up the yarn she has. Which got me kind of liking the idea. So I'm kind of doing that myself. through osmosis. And I do like this yarn a lot, but I'm like, it would be great in squares, only 16 of them, not ordering more. Yes, could put a border. Yes, could join in a different yarn, could add a fat border. I don't want to really do that. I want it to be kind of just like these colors touching. Do you know what I mean? Like that. Like how cute is that? Almost perfect. Close to it. So that's what I wanted. And it's like, too bad I don't have any more yarn. Then I was starting this project, and I'm like, oh, that's the same kind of yarn. Now, the thing about it, I can show you with this one here, is in the beginning, you get this really amazing color change, right? So it's not too stripy. It's kind of like, there, can you see that? So it's kind of like a few rows of the color changing. So it looks like more ombre, more variant. What do you call it? You tell me the right word for it. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't look super stripy. When it gets bigger, when the yarn gets bigger, and I took a photo. I made a square like half of the yarn. So I took one ball of yarn. I weighed it when I was about halfway through, and when I had an extra 5 grams. So I used up 45 grams. I had 55 grams left over because it always takes more yarn to decrease. I looked at it and be like, is that what I want? And I thought I did. I thought the bigger the square, the more fantastic it's going to look. But it ended up like this. Hopefully this is a photo from my phone if I didn't delete it by mistake. If not, so that's what it looked like side by side. But it looked a little stripy. It kind of looked a little cheaper. Do you know what I mean? It looked like, oh, a stripe square. Whereas I think this looks a bit, well, let's call it magic. She's like, that just looks like magic. So one is like super fantastic color changes, all condensed and squishy and like, wow, you get to really see all that color change together. And then the other way looks like stripes. Do you know what I mean? It's like all nice colors, but it's just row after row of stripes. So I was sitting there, I'm like, oh, like I've reconciled to making a rectangular blanket unless with the scraps, like with the extra bit that's left over each ball, combining those and making like as many like random squares as I can to see if I can get 4 more. So it would be 4 squares wide by 5 squares tall. Then at least it's a rectangle. I mean, we could try that. So I looked over to my whip basket area and saw this that I was working on for the Luscious shawl. And I was like, that's the same yarn. Like, I wonder if I could use this yarn. And it's not what I was totally going for, like just an orange and purple graphic C2C blanket, but what if I used this yarn to make the same amount of squares and did it like a turquoise orange checkerboardy, or I don't even know, I haven't made the squares yet, but what if, and I folded it back, so there's 12 rows of C2C, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 to there. So that would be kind of the gradient, like if this triangle was into a square, that is what we'd be looking at. Now let me put that with a triangle one that is done. And you can tell me what you think about it. Oops. But it would be those kind of colors together. Ish. Approximately. So half, well, maybe I can just show you the other way around. It's so awkward. But those kind of colors together. So 1 block orange and dark purples, and then 1 block of a turquoisey purple beside it, and then kind of checkerboard that out, which would mean 32 squares guaranteed So you can definitely play around and get a rectangle shape. No joining, no messing around with a yarn that doesn't belong. Make all the squares and join them afterwards. I did start also doing them together, like join as you go, build the square as you go. Problem with that, you can't totally lay out exactly. This worked out great, but you can't work out where your color change is hitting. Like you can't be like, oh, this one would look better here or that one would look better down there. So I'm doing them all separate instead of continuous join as you go. But thinking I'm gonna frog this back, I'm just gonna crochet from it straight. This is 3 balls, so I will easily, excuse me, I will easily get 6 squares from it, maybe 8. No, maybe 7, maybe 8 squares from this shawl here. But then I'm back to not having a shawl for the Luscious Ambient shawl, which will no longer be ambient because I don't have ambient. I'm using what I have. So back to my Yarnscape, and look what I found. Are you ready? You're gonna love it. You're gonna be like, oh my gosh. Like you can't even compare. Sometimes things work out for a really good reason. Ready? Right? Look at that. Isn't it so like wearable? It's so good. I can see it with like a white linen dress. I can see it with white khakis. I can see it with jeans, with denim shorts, with khaki shorts, cargo pants. I can see it with everything. This is gorgeous. I'm like, what was I even thinking about? So let me show you the difference. It's 3 balls of each. This is worsted spray, I want to say. It is a different yarn, but same. It's from Ice Yarns. It's a 4-weight worsted acrylic. Same size. Okay, ready? So this is what I was doing for a shawl. How am I doing that? And this is what I'm doing now. Right? Hold on. So 1, 2. Does that work, or is it the same way? It's the same way. So no genius moves from me. How about like that? No, that's hard. There has to be a way of just turning it, or maybe I need swivel arms. Anyway, what do you think? Which one would you wear? Because I'm like, now when I look at this, and I'm like, what would you wear that with? I mean, maybe if you have like purple in your wardrobe, which I do, which I don't. I have turquoise in my yard. I have blue, turquoise, greens. But I'm like, this I could just wear with everything. So I'm super happy about it. I've done 3 balls. I might do one more ball just to make it like that middle of the road, like not super tiny. And then for the border, I'm gonna do some of the chain action in a natural fiber. I haven't picked it yet, but like I'm thinking of the natural khaki, like a natural cotton, or like ideally it would be bamboo cotton light, but I don't think I have in this color. I'd have to look and see what I have, because that would be so fantastic. It's still a 4-weight, it's still really heavy, but it would give that border like this big swing of like, of course I'm a border. Like that swagger, the border swagger. So excited about this. I have to frog this. So those are officially, okay, well that's what it looks like in Whip Basket. Can you see it? I love it. So that's what I'm working on. I love it because, number one, I don't have to film it. I don't have to film 32 squares. I can make 31 squares and film 1 square. Do you know what I mean? So I can actually crochet with wild abandon, not having to like, you know, work. I just get to do just the fun part of crochet. So really excited about this one. And also about the border and how fabulous this is. Like even yesterday I was like leaving the house and I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't wear it. Like I wanted to grab it and be like, oh, brr. But no, I couldn't because it was not done. So those are my works in progress at the moment. There's been some questions about yarn spinners this is my favorite one. I have purchased and unpacked, I think almost all of them. I do have one left to unbox and assemble, which I'm assuming is the double one of this. So I bought the double where there's one here and then the next one is here. So it would be wide like this. What I love about it is it just freely spins. It's super quiet. You don't have to fuss with anything. You do have to cake your yarn depending how your yarn is spun. Because some balls, if you put them on a yarn spinner, they just kind of like slump and collapse like a melted snowman. It still works, but at the very end it gets a bit tangly, and I'm not, that's the whole reason I like these, is no yarn barf. The center pull doesn't get tangled up on itself. You can just cake your yarn and then crochet. No, nothing stops you. You don't have to yank, you don't have to pull. You literally just have free flowing yarn. So I really love it. It's like you just have a guaranteed 100 gram lovely experience. Bad part about this type, you cannot put 200 grams on it. You can put about 150. So not 3.53 or 3.34 ounces. You can put that on. You can't put double that on. So it'll just fall down. So you'll have it here. It'll be like, boom, it'll be sitting like that. So that, like the big balls of Savor and all those, you have to use, let me get one. Let me get you one. You have to use one of these for the big balls. So it's not like there's a one-stop perfect yarn spinner. I think you need a combination for whatever you do, but I will be unboxing that and doing a full review, like all of my experience with working them. I've worked with all of them now, so I've got a pretty good feel for it, but I'm going to put that in a separate video so that you can go and see it, or whatever you're thinking of buying a yarn holder spinner, because, that's what I'm calling it, by the way. That's what I'm calling them, yarn holder spinner, because it's a pretty good way of life. It definitely adds something to the crochet experience. Now, anyone who's been watching for a while and following my not fitness journey, my leg fell out in my sleep. Went back to sleep at like 4 o'clock in the morning, because I wake up in the middle of the night, watch TV, hang out with myself, do some crochet, like, enjoy the peace and quiet of not having anybody ask me questions. And went back to sleep around 4:30, woke up around 5:30, 6 o'clock, and my hip was dislocated. I'm like, it felt like it was dislocated. I'm like, it couldn't be dislocated. It was dislocated. So that really, really hurts, and I take that as a sign that you have no muscles left on the outside of your body, my body. So I will okay, got to do something. Started Pilates. That was great. I did enjoy it. She increased her prices. And I think, for me, there is a sweet spot for price. Like, some things you can justify and be like, you know what, I can totally see that. And then it gets to a point where you're like, what? I spend that much on myself? I have 4 kids. I have you know what I mean? I have pets. I have more responsibilities than just myself, and that much of my income cannot go towards that. So then I'm like, now what am I going to do? So I joined a gym. So for the price of less than the price of Pilates, let me see, way less than the price of Pilates, I can go to, me and my whole family can go to the gym with a personal trainer. So I got a gym membership for the family, and I got a personal trainer for the family, and we go a lot. We go 25 times a month, which is pretty much every day but Sunday. And I'm loving it. Now, I don't know if I could do the gym thing without a trainer, because I think after not being in the gym for so long, 30 years, 30 years, 20 years, 22 years. Well, since I moved to Kenya, go figure. Okay, so when I moved to Kenya, so 24 years ago, I have not gone to the gym since. So going back into the gym it's a bit intimidating. You're like, I'm the little old lady with no muscles and my hip's gonna fall out. You know, like you just don't have that. Like the machines are different. Like there's plates that you put on machines. I'm like, I just wanted a little plug, you know, like put my weight on. Like, you know, a nice easy little circuit for older people, for me. Anyway, a bit intimidating. But luckily, my little one wants to go to the gym like all the time. Mir wants to go to the gym like all the time. So now my life is driving to the gym. So I take my youngest in the morning really early. Like we leave at 5:30. We're back by 7:10 because his school starts at 8. And then I take Mir around 10 o'clock and wait around to bring him home around 11:30. So that kind of cuts in to my crochet time. But then I'm also like, you got to do what you got to do. Kids are only home for a month. So for the next month, for all of August, for the rest of July and all of August, that is my routine. I'm pretty much driving to the gym, waiting, well, I'm crocheting around, like waiting around crocheting, or here at the house doing what I usually do. So I'm really excited about that. I also have an app. Now you tell me what you think about this, because what did I see? Oh, I got invited to sponsor, or I got a proposition to sponsor a game on a mobile phone. Like, we'll pay you blah, blah, blah to do a 60-second blah, blah, blah about our game. And I'm like, that's cool, because I do games on my phone sometimes, middle of the night. Like, if I don't want to crochet, or if I don't want to turn the light on and like sit up and fully wake up, I'm like, let me just play a game to put me back to sleep. So I'm like, okay, what's the name of the game? Blah, 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 because I'm like totally into that. But I didn't like the game in that I wouldn't want to tell you to get the game. Do you know what I mean? And they had an affiliate thing and all that. But I don't want to tell you to do that. If I don't like the game, I don't want to tell you to do the game just so I get money from your affiliate thing. You know what I mean? So I'm like, I can't do that. Like, ethically, I can't do that. But then it got me thinking, I do play games on my phone, and I do have things on my phone that I enjoy. And then I was out for lunch with my girlfriend, and I was like, I just asked her, because I was like, what games do you play on your phone? She was like, I play like the wood block, you know, you drop the blocks like a little Tetris game. She plays that, and I'm like, oh, I play one of those too. I actually downloaded all of them to try to find the one that, like, number one, you can get rid of the ads, and number two, it doesn't have like that life thing, like, oh, your energy's all used up. No, okay? It's not. Relax. Stop. I can't stand that. It's like a pet peeve. So I'm like, okay, well, the one I'm playing now is like da-da-da-da-da. And she's like, she emailed me back, or she messaged, she WhatsApped me later that day. And she's like, oh my gosh, I'm so addicted to that game. It's so great. And I'm like, right. Number one, you don't run out of life. It's like, you have to think a little bit, but not really. Some levels are easier than others. It's not boring. It's not like drag 3 across, or you know what I mean, save somebody. No stress to it. There's no timer. I don't like that either. So then I was like, would that be of value to you? Because, like, maybe we can put in a little segment of, like, things, like good apps on your phone. Do you know what I mean? Or, like, good things on your phone. Because I think a lot of us, we just do Play Store by ourselves, or we do the Apple Store by ourselves. Be like, well, I'll try this one, I'll try that one. And we kind of get stuck into games that you run out of energy. Like, you know, just those things that aren't that great. So maybe we could have something where we share the good ones. That what games do you find that you can get rid of the ads? You don't have, you know, it's no time sensitive pressure, like no stress, good entertainment on your phone kind of app. So let me know if you're into that. Secondly, in the whole process, I don't even know how it came up, because I wasn't searching for it. What was I searching for? I think it was a calorie counter. I wonder, I should check my search history. Let me get my phone. Because I wasn't looking for it. I wasn't looking for it. I didn't want an app like that. I wasn't looking for an app like that. I wonder if my search history will come up. Let me see. I can't find it. But I was searching for something completely, I don't know what it was. Anyway, it came up. This app came up, long and short of it. And I was like, okay. Oh, it was a quiz or something. It was a quiz like about like your weight goals or your dietary goals or your fitness goals. And I was like, yeah, cool. So I did this little quiz. Turns out it's an app And you're like, oh, okay, like I'll check out an app. Like it was kind of like find your results, like download the app. And I was like, I can download an app. That doesn't bother me. Downloaded the app. And then I really liked it, but I had only used it for 3 days. So I'm not going to tell you that I like it now. But if you're interested in it, or interested in kind of like an app updatey kind of community thing of like sharing what apps we like, let me know in the comments because we could do a little segment about it in an upcoming video. Because for me, it was super helpful. Anyway, what else is new with me? Oh, Whip Wednesday, did you see it? So that was an email I got, and it was saying, what do you think about doing a little video where like we crochet with you for like 15 minutes, 30 minutes, and do a little exercise, like just kind of hang out for 30 minutes crocheting with you. And I was like, that's a good idea. I was wondering how to do it, like how it would be interesting, because I'm sure if somebody doesn't know me and they click on it, they're like, you're sitting in bed crocheting. Like it's not that exciting, right? So I shortened it down to about 15 minutes. Let me know what you thought about it, if it was boring, if you enjoyed it. During the live stream, people were like, what do you mean that's it? It's over, like it should be longer. So if you've seen it, let me know your opinion about it in the comments, because that could be like just a fun Whip Wednesday, just like hang out together, do a little crochet project. But let me know your opinion about it. Now I know I promised a Mabel and Churchill and Chickpea and Samurai update, but what time is it? 9 o'clock. I have to get my kids up and I gotta get them to the gym. So I'm gonna film that next time. Or through the course of the week, so I have the footage ready to put on the next podcast. So forgive me for skipping that one, but gotta do what you gotta do. I gotta get out the door, and then I don't even know. My schedule's so up in the air now with like this whole leaving the house so much. Can't say I'm a fan, but what do? You got to do things, right, for your family. So I hope you're all having a super great day, and I'm waiting for you. Oh, there's probably bloopers, so wait for the bloopers. So I hope you have a super great day, and stay hooked. So, super excited about that. It is coming out. I got a wonderful feeling. I love it. But also started another, hold on. I wonder if my search history will come up. Let me see.
And I'm a visual artist. So I make worlds and I open portals.
Okay, why is my phone playing? I can't find it. So I'm waiting for you in that video. No, I won't even say that. Now I'm gonna look like an idiot going to the gym with makeup on. They're gonna be like, who do you think you are, old lady? And I'm gonna be like, you know how buff I am? In my long sleeves. Okay, see you next time.